Oh man, remember when some people would literally sacrifice all of their toes just to get an amiibo? Well, I may not have all my toes, but at least I have more ways to use amiibo. It's so weird to look back at 2014 and 2015 and see just how popular amiibo was, or at least it was popular in the sense of, you know, what else was Nintendo doing that was popular? This got so many people excited, but I think it was more so just that little nugget in everybody's brain that just likes to complete everything. They want to get everything in a lineup. And amiibo just hit all those notes, you know. Hey, it started off with the Smash Brothers line, and there's a finite amount of Smash Brothers characters. It was really cool that they were based on the trophies from the game. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, there was an end in sight for the Smash Brothers line. It included beloved characters with a lot of merchandise already, so, you know, a lot of people may have bought, like, the Mario amiibo or the Link amiibo initially, just because, you know, they like Mario and Link figures. But then there was all these beloved characters that, like, never got merchandise. Literally, like, every single fan of video games had an amiibo figure that they were interested in because they did Smash Brothers with it. I mean, like, you cover all the bases of video games with the character lineup in that game. So for me, as collectible figures, it makes all the sense in the world that these things boomed in popularity. As Toys to Life figures, it makes no sense. I kind of doubt a good chunk of people bought amiibo figures for their functionality. I think it was all about, like, oh, cool, Nintendo merchandise. I think Smash Brothers here was the best use of amiibo. It still probably is the best use of amiibo. There's a lot of really cool and cute uses. You know, stuff like Super Mario Maker, the Mystery Mushroom costumes. Those are, like, incredible, but you could unlock them just by playing the game. Yoshi's Woolly World kind of had a similar functionality where a good chunk of the amiibo figures would unlock different patterns for Yoshi, which was really, really something special. And I think that's the thing. Some of my favorite amiibo functionality in those regards really had to do with, like, hey, like, let's support nearly all amiibo. Pretty much any amiibo we can support, let's support it. You know, something like Mario Maker supported, like, basically the entire Smash Brothers line. Same with Yoshi's Woolly World, but of course, they kind of unlocked very superfluous things. It was all about cosmetics. Smash Brothers, I think, gave you the most meaty amiibo integration that didn't necessarily feel like they were locking content behind a paywall with these figures. I think that was the big issue with a lot of other amiibo functionality in other games. If they would be, like, very elaborate functionality, it kind of felt like, you know, you were locking content behind the figures. You know, if it was nothing functionality, you're kind of like, what the fuck are we doing here? I think Smash Brothers' use of it was ingenious. Pretty much like an amiibo figure is basically like a little pet. You know, like you train it to fight just like you, and then you can, you know, battle it with other CPUs or people or other amiibo figures. It's a really cool thing because the amiibo figures in Smash Brothers aren't really the same as normal CPUs, you know, they actually kind of fight similar to you, which is really interesting. Which, that was definitely a pretty cool selling point of Smash for Wii U. It wasn't the selling point. If you bought that version for that thing alone, I worry about you. But it was something that Smash for 3DS didn't have. You know, Smash for 3DS launched before Smash Wii U, and, you know, it was a fully featured Smash Brothers game, but, you know, it was missing a lot of what Smash Wii U had in terms of, like, extra modes and bonuses and just content in general. But it was kind of weird to launch this big new figurine line, you know, this thing that you wanted to really capitalize on the Toys to Life craze with, and only have it work with your bum-ass failure of a console. Yeah, at launch, Amiibo really only worked with Wii U. Smash Brothers for Wii U, Mario Kart 8 after an update, you could unlock Mii costumes. Oh, finally, I can look like Mario in Mario Kart, but I don't have to be Mario. This is incredible! Hyrule Warriors had Amiibo support, but, like, you know, who the hell cares? At the end of the day, Nintendo launched this figurine line to work with a limited supply of Wii U games. There was no chance for this thing to grow outside of just the fact that people like the figures. But of course, consider this. These are NFC figurines, and Nintendo's only other platform at the time, the Nintendo 3DS, did not have any NFC functionality. So, they pretty much had to make a completely new version of the 3DS that included NFC and Amiibo support at that point. This is the new 3DS XL, and it launched in February 2015 here in North America. Of course, you also had the regular new 3DS, but, you know, we weren't ready for that here in Ohio. The new 3DS line of systems was pretty much taking a completely outdated piece of technology and making it slightly less outdated for 2015. It was pretty bad when in the trailer they say how, like, oh my god, everything's so much faster now. It even has faster, web browsing. Holy shit. I mean, I'd say this is the definitive 3DS model. I love the new 3DS, the regular sized one. You have faceplates with that one, and you have the colored buttons. On the new 3DS XL, it feels like, this is for somebody that's a little too pompous for fully colored buttons, like, oh, I'll take the font to be that color, but like not the button itself. Oh no. Definitely a more boring model, but hey, I have to admit, the XL size is more comfortable. And the fact that the 3D screen tracks your eyes, so that way, you don't have to, be staring dead on for the effect to work like with the original models. And I made fun of the fact that, like, ooh, it's faster now. It's faster than a dying turtle now. But it's just like, yeah, I mean, compared to the original 3DS models, like, I'll definitely take this. I'll definitely take a bit of a snappier OS, a bit of a, faster load times across the board. It's nice. The new 3DS XL is nice as far as, 3DS models go. In terms of technology in 2015, yeah, I mean, it's still a damn 3DS. Like, damn, is that a 120p resolution screen? Nah, f you, it's 240p. But a big thing to bring the 3DS in line with Nintendo's business strategy in 2015 was to just cram some Amiibo support in the bottom touchscreen. That's not awkward at all. So now, 3DS games can support Amiibo. Check it! Maybe. Okay, to be fair with this one, I have to hit Amiibo here, and then I put it there. Okay. And there we go, finally! Yoshi's design is actually starting to make some sense, all thanks to Amiibo! Yeah, it's pretty crazy for a handheld that didn't initially have, like, an NFC reader built in. The 3DS ended up having, like, loads of games that supported Amiibo, way more than the Wii U. Potentially, like, it might be in line with the Nintendo Switch. I'm not actually sure how many games support Amiibo on the Nintendo Switch, but, like, Nintendo is really, like, spotty with what games support Amiibo on that system. But the 3DS, pretty much every game they released after, like, February 2015 supported Amiibo in some way. Except for Triforce Heroes, which I always found was, like, really strange. Here's a goofy little Zelda game that has a large focus on different costumes giving you different abilities. I would just assume, like, why not throw in Amiibo support? That makes all the sense in the world. Even if you don't want to do, like, other Nintendo franchises, like, if you don't want Link to wear a Mario costume, that's one thing. But, like, it just, like, even, like, the regular, like, Zelda Amiibo, like, give him a Ganondorf costume or a Zelda costume or something like that. I don't know. That was really strange to me. But outside of that, a good chunk of what Nintendo was putting out supported Amiibo. Which is a little strange considering that, like, only 2 3DS models could use Amiibo. But what are you gonna do about the weird bastard on the school bus with an original 3DS? Well, in September of 2015, yeah, it took a while for them to actually, have a solution for this. But alongside Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, we got the Nintendo 3DS NFC Writer and Reader. Yep, it's a puck. So I picked this up during my weird little Nintendo fan binge where I was kind of like, you know what? I want to get all the Nintendo published games coming out. That was very dumb of me to start doing in late 2015. That was the worst possible time for me to do that. Yes, I would like to own all Nintendo published games, right when Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer was releasing, and Chibi Robo Ziplash, and Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. I did not plan ahead here. But this released after the height of the Amiibo craze and around the time of the slow decline here. I remember, like, I think the height was, like, in May of 2015. That's when, like, NES released. You had the Splatoon 3 pack, Greninja, Jigglypuff, the Fire Emblem characters. And yeah, a lot of these were damn hard to find. But then, as we got to September, A lot of the amiibo that released alongside Super Mario Maker, like those were a lot easier to come across. I believe I got pretty much every single one that released that wave on the launch day. And that was unheard of with previous waves of amiibo. Wave 2 in December of 2014. I never once saw a Little Mac in a store. Wave 3 in February of 2015. I damn near shit my pants when I saw Bowser at GameStop before Street Date. But like half of those figures were like impossible to find. May of 2015, half of those figures were impossible to find. But then when we got to September, I think Nintendo kind of figured out a lot of their stock issues, which unfortunately kind of made amiibo a little less lucrative to want to buy. When you could actively walk into a store and get any of the amiibo you wanted, it definitely kind of took a lot of the appeal out of it, which is dumb to say. It kind of shows how much do you actually really want these things if they're not hard to come across. But it was all about the hunt. It was so fun. And also genuinely grating to go to multiple stores just to get fucking Pac-Man. But by September, everything was pretty well stocked. And this was right before the horrific crash of amiibo with the Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival line, which this sort of started because this launched the Animal Crossing card line of amiibo. And how are you going to use the cards? Well, you need a puck to use them on your regular 3DS. So since this was one of the major first regular 3DS games that heavily leaned into amiibo here, they wanted to launch the puck alongside this game. I also remember the Retro 3-pack launched on the same day at GameStop. I remember picking that up right alongside this game, and the cashier was so nice. I said, "Can I have the Retro 3-pack?" And he had a little glimmer in his eye, and he picked it up and he pretended to hug it, and he said "Aw man, but I want one." I never saw him at that GameStop after that. I'm pretty sure GameStop was horrible for him to work at, but he was very nice. Not nice enough to just ask me straight up, "Why are you buying Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer? This game is just kind of whatever." But still, I did not have a new 3DS system at the time, so if I did want to use amiibo on a regular 3DS, this was my only option. And this little device is really damn slick for what it is. It is so damn basic, but my god, it just works so seamlessly. You turn it on like that, boom, it's immediately on, boom, and then you put it right next to your 3DS, so then the IR blaster here connects there, and then boom, it just works. That's all you need to do. It takes 2 AA batteries, and I have never had to change these things. That's Nintendo's thing. They can get the greatest battery life of all time out of damn near anything but their actual systems. The Circle Pad Pro for the 3DS, that's what, 4 million hours? This thing, I don't actually know if the batteries ever need to be changed on this thing. I just think it works forever now. So thankfully, because of the Nintendo 3DS NFC Reader, I could finally use amiibo in my 3DS games. I only remember using it once. And that might be a lie. I probably definitely tried it out in Smash Brothers for 3DS. And I love Smash Brothers for 3DS, but after the Wii U version launched, I didn't play the 3DS version nearly as much, but I think, I wanted to test it out. But I'd say the one game that I used amiibo with the most was Kirby Planet Robobot. I love the amiibo functionality in this game because it is making the most out of nothing at all. So we're gonna use Kirby Planet Robobot to demonstrate the Nintendo 3DS NFC Reader Writer in action. And this is why this is my favorite one, or at least one of my favorites. It's mainly because they didn't really do much here. It's more so they just took most of the amiibos, or most of the big ones, and just kind of associated them with different copy abilities that are already in Planet Robobot. So that way it's just I don't know, I just seeing what they coordinate with each amiibo. Let's do this little bastard. So let's hit yes here, and it can already tell the NFC reader is right there. So then we just tap that on there, and look at that, you get the doctor ability. No shit! So it's it's not like Kirby turns into Dr. Mario, but the doctor ability was already in Kirby Planet Robobot. So it's just when you tap Dr. Mario, you get the doctor ability. That's fun. We tap Bowser, and we get Stone. Sure. I guess it's just because Bowser's really large. I would have assumed fire, but whatever. I could do this all day. I would like to try this fella right here. Let's see what we get with him. So we get the Spark ability. And that's the big thing with like the Pokemon amiibo, is the fact that since, you know, Pokemon is owned by the Pokemon company and everything, and like, yeah, Nintendo is a part of the Pokemon company, but there's always a bit more hoops to jump through with including Pokemon content in other games. So many times the Pokemon amiibo just wouldn't really work in other games. But here, it would just say, yeah, you scam Pikachu, you get Spark ability. It's not like Kirby turns into damn Pikachu. So, you know, that's fun. This one's one of the big ones here. We have Ness here, and I love this one. You get the ESP ability. Which is fun because, you know, Kirby is already kind of modeled after Ness. Kind of like how, like, Sword Kirby is already modeled after, like, Link. So, of course, like, you scan Link, you get Sword Kirby. You know, ESP Kirby has a little hat just like Ness here. So it's just like, oh, I like this. But this is the true, really fun one. You know, there's two Kirby amiibo. There's the Kirby series amiibo, and then there's the Smash Brothers Kirby amiibo. And when you scan the Smash Brothers Kirby amiibo, you get the Smash Brothers ability, which I believe that's the only way you can get that ability is by scanning Smash Brothers Kirby, which is really cool. And the Smash Brothers ability was also in a previous Kirby game, one of the GBA ones. I forget if it was Amazing Mirror or Nightmare in Dreamland, but either way, like the Smash Brothers ability, Kirby plays exactly like Smash Brothers Kirby, which is just so damn cool. And yeah, that is how the NFC Reader works on the 3DS. Yeah, I'm really sorry that I rambled about this for so long, considering, you know, it does exactly what you'd assume it would do. Allows you to scan amiibo on an older 3DS model. It works fairly well for what it is. I like that it's using the IR pointer because that way, you know, it makes it a little more portable, not very clunky. It does the job. And there's some really cool amiibo support on the 3DS. I'd say some of the best amiibo support you can find is on 3DS. So it's really great that Nintendo offered a solution for older 3DS owners to scan all kinds of amiibo. It's just really embarrassing. I could talk about it for this long. To be fair, how much about this was about the NFC Reader itself? More so about amiibo at the time in general, and how Nintendo wanted everybody to be able to scan amiibo. I find it more surprising that it took so long to come out. You know, like it pretty much took an entire year after amiibo were initially introduced to get this accessory out. I would still recommend just upgrading to a new 3DS XL. But it's not that the NFC Reader writer is that clunky at all. In fact, I'd say it's one of the most user-friendly solutions to this problem I could have possibly imagined. I think Nintendo knocked it out of the park with this. If only they could do that with things that mattered. God bless the Nintendo 3DS NFC Reader/writer. And God bless Five Below for discounting the Lottie amiibo to $5.